All right, everyone, welcome back to another stream this week. Let me get up some things set up before we can begin, and we can go right into it. Right, so thank you for joining me for another week. I know last week was a bit iffy in how everything was done, but hopefully this week will be a lot better. If the stream cuts out, I'll try to get it fixed as fast as possible. Once again, since we are on a bit of a delay with what you're seeing and what I'm seeing, it's going to be a bit difficult to kind of understand what exactly is going on. But I will try my hardest to make sure everything gets fixed in the short run. Um, well, I guess without further ado, we can just start right into it and start this mission. Now, last time we did start a tad bit of this, but I decided that since everything kind of went downhill really fast, that I would just try to reset it and we can hopefully try to start again all together and actually see and experience it together. Well, I guess without further ado, we'll just go right into the Temple of the Wolf. And let's start. Sorry, getting some things set up. Right. All right, it's the same as last time. Oh. And I just realized that the Japanese dub is on, which I don't understand why that's happening, but I'll try to get that fixed after stream, or not after stream, after this is done. And sorry if it feels like I'm speeding through this first part, just kind of getting through what we have already originally been through. But yeah, essentially, if they're wet, we can freeze them. And then obviously take them out like this. Flamethrow's core is what gives it the energy to shoot fire. And then essentially we just use Kaya's cryo skill to turn it off. Obviously, you have to wait a few seconds, and then boom. And if you're wondering what the Doors of Resurrection are, basically, if all my characters were to drop below 0 HP, I would just respawn at these doors every time. And then, as per usual, we're going to go around, collect everything possible, make sure we stock up on all the resources. Underwater spikes make the area too dangerous to swim through, and cryo skill can freeze the surface of the water, creating safe passage across. And just for note, these spikes almost never come back. This is like the first time you'll ever see them and the last time. Right, and this is where we kind of got cut off last week, so hopefully now it should be better. And I believe should be another cutscene. And I will just like to state that this is actually one of my favorite characters, so forgive me if I'm kind of a bit giddy, but just always seems like a very smooth character to come in at the right moment. Even though we don't learn who they are until later on, but once again, favorite character, so. And now we officially have another character to our roster. And let me change that real fast. Alright. So now we can continue. Everything should be in English now. Once again, sorry for that. I don't know why it keeps changing back over, even though I tell it not to. But yeah, I think to get the other character, we're gonna swap over to Lisa's, and then we'll have a full roster of people that we can finally play through with. Hopefully we can teleport. Yeah. So, another long session of walking, taking as many treasure chests as we can go. And obviously, every time we see a teleport waypoint, we're definitely going to be grabbing that so that it makes it easier coming back. And I guess I should kind of state what these are right here, and we'll do this puzzle. But essentially, these, when you light them with pyro skills, they'll light up like that. And for this one, all it is you just have to light up every single one, which is not too difficult with Amber's bow. But some of them will be like time challenges. You have to do them in a certain order or something like that. For this one, nice, simple. Just light them all up. Then we have to climb all the way up there for that teleport waypoint, which always fun. Oh, and we get a chest while we're at it. Look at that. I think we'll try to fly over a bit to make it a bit faster. Not too much, but it's a nicer, I guess. I guess my favorite thing in this game, a mountain cliff, especially on really low stamina at the beginning of the game, where you can't climb it, so you have to go around it. They get really fun later on when we get to Leeway, where Leeway is just all mountains. Well, I guess some mountains and some plains, but luckily for us, there's a nice little path we can climb up right here. Make it easier on us. A nice little cliff face we can climb up, and we should be there. And I guess, since we can see it right there, these things right here can be used at like the animo statues, which it might explain, I guess, I'm not too sure. But they can be used at like animo statues, and essentially they'll upgrade your stamina from time to time, and they'll give you really good rewards once you level them up. So exactly like Paimon said. Right, and then we're going to start the next mission. We're by talking to Lisa. I mean, valid question of why a librarian's at a rune, but it's fine. Kind of avoided the question, but you know, then we'll just head right in. And the other quests that are kind of underneath this one domain that we're going into right now, those are kind of like not like introduction, but they kind of explain what each elemental reaction does. We might do it later on, depending on the time and everything, but all right. Now we have Lisa in our team. I mean, it is true though. Paimon can't really do much. Mostly just for comedic relief sometimes. And I guess we'll collect more chests along the way. And now with the electro and pyro reaction, essentially it'll like, as you can kind of see, it's almost like blowing up. It's called overload, and it does a sizable amount of damage. And then with Kaya, when we use, obviously, it'll use the melt ability, which does a lot more damage. Kind of like what Lisa said. We essentially, there's a lot of these, and all of them will have their own individual elemental symbol on them. And with this one, it's obviously electro. So once we light it up, it'll activate something that is a challenge. And so with Lisa's elemental skill, we'll try to explain a bit more since this is kind of a time challenge. We just got to kill all of them. But yeah, later on, I'll kind of show precisely what her skill does. So essentially, if you tap it, it'll shoot these little like electro balls at them. And by putting more of them on there, and then doing the holding the ability, it'll do a lot more damage. And then with Electro and Hydro, I mean, once again, almost exactly like what Lisa said. When all of them are like when all the enemies are filled with Hydro, and then you turn around and shock them with Electro, it'll kind of do a lot more damage and spread out across all enemies. So essentially, think of it like an AOE attack. Oh, there's a little, seemingly like a little area right here. I don't know if we can reach it. Yeah. Doesn't seem like there's anything up there anyways, though. But goodness, there's a lot of chests in here. Get a lot of stuff for later on. And I guess I didn't state that chests actually will level up your adventure rank, which is, it's not like anything substantial where it like increases your attack power or anything, but it gets you a lot of rewards later on, so it's nice to have them. Oh, well. And like I said, whenever you do anything that might cause you a lot of harm, you just respawn at those points. It was definitely on purpose to show exactly what those respawn points do. Wasn't on accident. But yeah, so kind of what Lisa was saying before I was trying to show what the respawn points do. Essentially, visions are used by almost all users in this world to actually have oh my gosh, vision powers. That was, wow. But yeah, before we break it, oh gosh. But essentially, what they'll do is visions allow you to do all sorts of elemental powers, like how Lisa has Electro. Her vision allows her to activate Electro abilities. Whereas with our Traveler, you can see that there's not really a vision on them, and it's mostly because they do come from another world. So this is something we try to cover up and not let too many people know that we're from another world, and just kind of state like, I just have Electro powers like that. It just happens. But then we'll break this amber, and then we should be able to move on. Oh, and look at that. We adventure ranked up. If I can, I'll try to go and read it because I think there's. It might be in our. Yeah, I think it's in our inventory somewhere. I can try to go back and find that, and then we can read it together. yeah, now we have a full roster of characters. Let me... Here it is. Essentially, you have the 4 winds, which is obviously the wolf, the lion, the falcon, and then the wind dragon. And after a really long war, Dvalin came up on top, and I mean, essentially, there's a huge war, and they used all the powers. Dvalin came in and was able to defeat all of them, but then after a while, a lot of the temples just became deserted, and no one really cared anymore, which kind of leads to why Dvalin might have a reason to attack Mondstadt, because, I mean, it was seriously left all by itself forever without anyone to ever tend to its temple. So, we'll see later on exactly the reason why, but for now, I'll probably head over to this little area up here to activate the statue, because the statue is what allows us to actually open up more of the world and actually see more of it, so we'll try to get up there. Even though I don't actually think it's up here, but we'll get there. And like I said, here's more monuments right here, and we'll try to activate them all at once, just to make it easy. Oh, well, I guess that doesn't work, so... And as you can kind of see, there are different levels of monsters, if you haven't noticed so far. And obviously these are level 12, so they're going to be a lot harder to beat than a level 5, which is kind of the reason I'm just going to avoid them and go around them. For now, though, we'll probably go over here, collect this little thing right here, and then move on to collecting the statue, which is right behind this tree. I guess first we could also activate these. Short and simple, and give us some nice rewards. Oh, wow. It's actually an exquisite, or precious chest, sorry. Which gave us a lot of nice stuff right there, so. And probably later on, after the temples mission, we'll probably turn around and I'll start upgrading some of the characters, showing you what those screens look like, just so you can kind of get a bearing of what exactly it means to upgrade a character. So like I said, now we have more of the world unlocked, so we can see all this. Though for now we can't really go anywhere because obviously the missions are not letting us. This little red line says like you can't go farther than this. But yeah, at least now we have more of this unlocked. We can see more. But for now, we'll go back to the Temple of the Falcon and do the mission with Amber. I guess we can't teleport there, so I guess we'll... Oh, goodness. I guess I can't teleport anywhere. Okay, well. Or maybe it's because we were in the statue thing. But I'm going to show you this right here. It'll allow us to use these and offer them up, which I'll offer all, just to get it. And we'll get these rewards from it, which includes a stamina up, so... See, stamina is now 114, which is nice. And then obviously all the easy ones we'll try to grab on the way, but I'm not going to go out of our way for now. So essentially, to sum up what Paimon just said, we are simply built different than everyone else, so go us. But essentially, like what I was trying to stop and show you, this is also another little tiny quote unquote puzzle to get rewards. These three things right here are called animal slimes. They'll just kind of fly in the sky. They don't really do much. What you do is you'll pop each one of them with a bow and arrow character. And once you pop all of them, it'll give you like a nice little chest. Just another one of the forms of puzzles you can find across the entire world of Tibet. Obviously, another one of these. Burn away this stuff and get the chest underneath. And we are here at our next temple location. So, like previously stated, Storm Terror was one of the four winds, but obviously is now attacking all of Mondstadt for some unknown reason, even though it was originally supposed to protect Mondstadt. Without further ado, we'll start the next temple. You know, like we've kind of been doing already. And so, kind of like I also previously stated, these little things right here can be burned down with any pyro character. It doesn't just have to be Amber, but as long as you use pyro, it's essentially like burning something in real life. So we'll shoot both of these, let them start burning down while we collect some of the stuff behind it. We'll collect these chests. And there is a lot of them. Might start using Baron Bunny for some of these, just to kind of get it out of the way. And just for fun, because having a little friendly bomb go off is interesting. Essentially, this is talking about our elemental sight ability, which essentially allows us to look around and see anything that has an elemental ability on it. So, like this previously stated, these shields are made of dendro, which is kind of like the life element, if you will, and means we can burn them like we can with the vines and stuff. Essentially, we do this, and oh well, hold on. There you go. And so you can kind of see that it's green, meaning we can actually burn it. So we'll do that real fast, just to kind of get the shield out of the way. And as you can see, obviously it's burning in his hand, which it's mean, but it gets the shield out of the way. Makes it easier to defeat. And there would be Baron Bunny. I don't know if I've stated, but essentially it'll actually distract enemies, and then it will explode after a short period. And then with these little barrels, they'll explode if you hit them. So I'm going to back up a tad bit and let them blow up. Obviously, once again, collect everything we can. Kind of like I stated, they'll blow up. And I guess something with Animo that we might have already noticed, maybe not, but Animo can take like on the power of anything it touches, kind of, sort of. Meaning that if I hit a character with Pyro and then use Animo on it, it'll actually create a Pyro swirl reaction. And that can be essentially done with any element except Animo. And once again, throw out our little friendly bomb and leave it there. Nothing better than to watch Baron Bunny blow up for no other reason of just seeing the explosion. And then here's our final Animo Hammer, and now we have destroyed all three. That was a very small, precious chest, but I guess we'll take it, I guess, and continue. Oh, and look at that, another cutscene. Cutscenes are always kind of my favorite thing ever. I love watching them. And there we go. We are no longer limited by that small border. So essentially, we cannot start the next Archon quest until we are level 10. So what we'll do is we'll kind of march around for a bit, kind of do some quests, see what we can grab from treasure chests, and go from there. Like I just said, we can upgrade it through all of our quests and stuff. Yeah. Well, probably from now on, we'll kind of walk around and just kind of explore. It'll make things easier on collecting a lot more chests and things like that if we're walking instead of teleporting all the time. But I know, if I'm correct, there was a quest that I skipped over last time right here we can start doing a little cooking quest and learn how to cook. I mean, haven't really started cooking yet, but we'll say we've only cooked a very small amount. You mean the ones I already destroyed? Oops. I guess we're a bit ahead of the game. All right. So to learn how to cook, we kind of need to make sure we find something sort of like this, where it's like a pot over a fire, or there's various other things you could find. Essentially, anything that will you'll kind of know that it's a cooking area. It'll make it pretty apparent. But make sure that it's obviously lit up. You can light any unlit fires with a pyro character like Amber. And then what you can do is you can go in here and you have all these little nice recipes right here you can make. Some of them we can't make since we don't have the ingredients for. But for the mission, we just need to craft one chicken mushroom skewer. So what we do is we press cook, go in, and different characters will have different abilities or different, I guess, capabilities, however you want to look at it, when it comes to cooking. With Kaya and this specific dish, it may make us a special dish, which is essentially like a character specialty. What we do is we press cook manually, and we have to go all the way over here and try to press it right in that dark yellow area. If you press it outside the dark yellow area, it'll just lower in quality and like lower in its healing effect. But yeah, that's cooking is not too difficult. And once you get to 5, which I'll try to do with this, just to kind of show you, it's very, very short and simple. Not anything too difficult to think about. But once we get up to the maximum amount of proficiency, which actually, before that, we did get Kaya's special, which is this fruity skewers right here. It'll have like a better healing ability, but it's also his specialty dish, just to kind of say like you have it. But yeah, right here it unlocks the auto cook ability since we have the basically maximum proficiency for it, and then you can just automatically cook them instead of having to cook them one by one. It comes out a lot. It comes out a lot better later on in the game when you have like hundreds of ingredients that you're trying to cook all at once. But for now, obviously, we don't need to worry too much about it. And this right here that it keeps pushing me for to click on. These little like ingredients you can make. So stuff like this, you will. It's like a lot higher order ingredients that you can make in a lot different ingredient or recipes. So like this one right here requires flour, so you have to make flour by using wheat, and this wheat will turn into flour after a processing time of 1 minute. Once again, we're not going to worry too much about it right now, but it'll probably become something we look at later on. For now, we'll talk back to Lynn and just kind of see what she wants to talk about. That was a very weird sound, but okay. Right. Nice little small quest we can complete, kind of get more ingredients and things of that nature. But when it comes to cooking and stuff, I will most likely be getting a lot of ingredients from restaurants like Good Hunter and even some supermarkets that allow you to buy a lot more ingredients in bulk. But yeah, for now, we'll go back into Monset, kind of poke around, see what's there. Actually, I guess we could hop over the mission, see what's next. So yeah, we'll go to the Adventurers Guild and see what that's all about. Oh, that's... Oh, yeah. Yeah, Mischief. It's a bit weird. And so, like I was talking about earlier, these are a lot of the adventure ranks. I believe, unless they changed it, it goes all the way up until 60, but it gets really difficult to level up after, I think in my opinion, it was like level 50. It gets really difficult to level up from there on out, especially after level 55. It's crazy amount. I think I've like played for 100 days and haven't ranked up once. So early on, it's really nice and easy to rank up since they obviously want you to get all these rewards and all this other stuff to kind of jumpstart your game. I'll go through, collect all these real fast. Like later on. Yeah. So now we are officially a part of the Adventurers Guild, which is kind of nice. It helps us out with gaining a lot of missions and stuff. And eventually, I'm not sure when that occurs, but they'll have daily commissions that you can complete and get a lot more primo gems, which allows you to summon more characters. But yeah, as you can see, our map has opened up a lot. And I mean a lot. But yeah, that'll be a lot later on. Once we get through the story, it'll kind of help us out getting into these individual areas and kind of explaining exactly where we should be going at what times. But for now, open up the adventure handbook. And so this is kind of, they're like basic missions to kind of show you and kind of push you along in the right direction on how to play the game. For now, we're just going to claim all these rewards. Oh. And see, now we got this thing called Leyline Blossom. I'll get to that in a few seconds. But yeah, let me... Because we are getting a lot of missions right now. Because these are, I believe, if I'm correct, these should be character-specific missions right here, which we can do... I think we'll probably start with Amber's. And we'll do Amber's mission. Kind of help us get out more adventure rank XP. So essentially, I'm being robbed by Paimon. Cool, gotcha. If it hasn't become a tad bit apparent, Paimon is definitely a glutton and eats whatever things possible. But yeah, so this is one of the shops I was talking about. Here you can buy all sorts of ingredients. For now, since I don't have too much money, I'm probably going to just show it and not buy anything yet. But we can come back here later if we ever need to buy anything. This right here is called like an alchemy table. It's sort of the same thing as like a cooking station, except it allows you to make different materials that you might need for like character ascension, weapon ascension, things of that nature. Well, actually, maybe not weapon ascension, but I know it does help you out with a lot of character ascension materials. And just kind of poking through, letting it tell me what to do. But these allow you to like convert all these gems into different gems. So like I could take maybe multiple of this one and turn it around and make one of these, or vice versa. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff we can look at later on. It becomes a lot more needed once you get into later parts of the game where you actually need to upgrade your characters a lot higher. So like I was saying, this is Good Hunter right here. It sells a lot of food and things of that nature. We can obviously for the mission buy Fisherman's Toast to make the little glutton happy. But yeah, here's a lot of the other things you buy. And once we get to higher ranks, we can actually buy recipes, which allows us to craft a lot more recipe or not recipes, a lot more foods. I mean, really, now I just want to beat Good Hunter's food just to prove Paimon wrong. That kind of hurt. But yeah, I believe we can talk to Amber now without any more things coming up, hopefully. Obviously, just climbing through a Mondstadt. I mean, no laws against it, but I'm sure a lot of people will look at us strangely. Um, I haven't seen that challenge before. I guess we're gonna do this first. I've never actually taken part of this challenge, so this is kind of interesting to me. Yeah, that was interesting. And we get a luxurious chest, which is one of those that's like top of the line. This is like one of the best chests you could possibly get. Open this up, see what kind of rewards we get, which is an awful lot. Then I know I've talked about upgrading our characters and adding weapons and stuff. We'll get to that in a few. We'll talk to Amber first and then go from there. Oh. So apparently we've been illegally gliding this whole time. We tried. And we get a nice little cutscene to go in with our teaching of wind gliding. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If it's all their textbooks are written a storybook type way, I mean, learning sounds like a lot of fun. And so I'll go into the character menu and kind of show off a bit of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. with this tab, this is the weapon tab. We can switch out weapons that might be better than the others. For now, we'll just give the Traveler or Lumine this weapon just to kind of increase their combat power. We can enhance them. I might do that a bit later because we're getting into really not advanced stuff, but there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind enhancing, and I want to make sure each character gets a good weapon before we start using them to enhance other weapons. This refinement essentially allows you to use the same type of weapon, and it'll increase its weapon refinement level. Once again, a tad bit later on, we'll look at that a lot deeper. These are artifacts. Each artifact set has 5 ones right here. The flower, this little feather, hourglass, goblet, and then these little like circlets or crowns or however you want to look at it. Each one gives their like own set bonus. So like with this one, it's the instructor set. If you have a 4-piece, you get upon triggering an elemental reaction, you increase all party members' elemental mastery, which once again, this is like really advanced stuff when it comes to like crit damage, attack, and defense. You can go really deep into this. You can stay really shallow and just kind of equip what you think might work best on them. For now, I might just equip a bunch of random stuff on them just to kind of increase their battle power a bit more. We don't need to worry too much about it right now, since we are really early game and pretty over leveled when it comes to most things. These constellations are essentially when you get the same of one character, excluding the Traveler because the Traveler is a bit special. But with like characters like Amber, Kaya, and Lisa, when you get duplicates of them, instead of getting the character again, you get constellations. Constellations allow you to get special little abilities. So essentially, like with this one, when you upgrade Amber and you fire an arrow, you get 2 arrows per aimed shot. So it'll shoot out 2 instead of 1. And that kind of just it increases as it goes. Some constellations, there are some constellations you don't want to unlock. Specifically in my mind, it's Bennett C6, which those who play a long time know that you don't unlock Bennett C6. Just take my word for that one. Talents are essentially their abilities and stuff you can do. You can level these up, which, once again, this is a tad bit later on. It's not too difficult to understand, but since we can't upgrade them yet, I'm not going to worry about it too much. Then you have their like little like almost passive abilities almost. So this one, the gliding stamina consumption for the party is increased by 20%. So when we fly, it doesn't take as much stamina. And obviously, then here's the profile menu, which kind of gives a bit of their backstory, tells about the story, a little bit about their voiceovers, and kind of looking at all the voice lines they have. But yeah, and I guess, sorry, going back to Traveler's Constellation. The Traveler's Constellation, essentially, you get these by like going through the Archon story, which is the main story. And these kind of allow you, once again, to upgrade their abilities. Same as the other ones, you just get them in a special way. So we'll go through. We'll kind of give each character a better weapon, if possible, just to kind of enhance their power a bit, so we're not worried too much about coming across an enemy we can't beat. And as you can kind of see, which I feel like it's kind of self-explanatory, but just to kind of make it a bit more clear, you can't equip characters with weapons that don't match what their weapon is. So with Kai, I could only equip a sword. With Amber, you can only equip a bow. With Lisa, it's only a catalyst, which we'll get to catalysts right now. But catalysts are kind of like, they can be books, but some of them don't look exactly like books either. But yeah, and once again, we're just going to go through, put a bunch of artifacts on them just to kind of increase battle power so we're not struggling to get through some challenges. I guess we missed one. Hold on. Oh, there we go. But yeah, that should be kind of the screen entirely. Obviously, this allows you to kind of, not too important, but it allows you to see all the characters you've unlocked, which you can sort them and other things like that. Yeah, I think we're going to continue on with Amber's mission and kind of get through with that. For this one, we are going to teleport because 800 meters is a tad bit far away. Yeah. Oh, I guess we have to go back up to the cliff where we originally were earlier, so it's cool. And I guess it should state if this ever does happen, but with stamina consumption in like climbing cliffs or swimming, if your stamina runs out while you're doing either of those, it'll actually like stop it. So if I'm climbing and I run out of stamina, I just fall. With swimming, it'll actually like stop you and do like a little like drowning animation. You don't fully you don't fully lose the character's HP. You just kind of respawn outside of the water. But yeah, to continue on, we're gonna go into Amber's gliding mission. So, yeah, that's kind of my thought. And so with this, it's just kind of self-explanatory. We just have to get to the finish as fast as possible. These little like wind things right here that we just kind of flew through, essentially they'll speed you up and kind of shoot you forward. I'm not sure if we have to collect these little golden rings. Honestly, I don't even remember seeing them in the later parts of the game, so maybe they're just important for now. Once again, we'll teleport for this. That's an awfully far away to just walk to. But after this, we might start exploring, get some of these waypoints unlocked to kind of better help us explore this wide area. Oh, sorry, I forgot we're gonna teleport. Oops. Actually, our first teleport might be this one right here that we unlock, just to make it easier to teleport up here. That one, however, is a bit tricky because it is a bit higher up, which you'll kind of see what I mean when we get there. So I believe, if I'm correct, it should be on top of this building. Or no, is it? Sorry, I guess it is kind of right here. Hold on. This one's going to be a bit more difficult due to our not high amount of stamina, but we should hopefully be able to get up here.
Just kind of use these for a little bridge point to allow our stamina to refill. Oh, and I guess as you can see, there are points where you can't climb up because of how the wall's laid out. So we'll have to find a way around that. I'm not too sure what to do there though. Oh, there you go. We'll go to that kind of side right there, or I think. It is a tad bit difficult when it comes to climbing some walls, because some walls you don't know what you can and can't climb up. So like right there, you can't climb up that, but maybe over here. Not too sure though. We'll see what happens. It is a bit difficult to get up here, but once you unlock the waystone, it's obviously a lot easier to get back up. Oh, there you go. Made it past it. Go over here. And sometimes you have to be a bit creative, kind of climb around where you're trying to go to get to the one spot you need to go to. And as you can see there, we ran out of stamina. And so it just kind of dropped us straight down to the ground. Since it's not too far of a fall, it obviously didn't make us take any damage. But if you drop from really high up, it'll do a lot of damage. And it can actually end the character if you're not too careful. Alright, and there you go. We unlocked this waystone, so now we don't have to worry about climbing ever again, which is nice. We'll fly over here to Amber and get this next mission done. And I'm still not getting yelled at, though, for illegally gliding through Mondstadt, but I guess they don't really care about that one. And this should be pretty easy. I mean, it's not too difficult to fly through them, even though, as I say that, I'm sure I'm going to mess it up. Well, I guess not. And I guess, so there are a little bit of rewards over here. This right here is kind of, it's almost like a music disc, kind of. And you can kind of use these later on once you have a certain music player. Or actually, I'm not too sure. I don't normally use them because it's just not something I look at that much. But and then obviously we have this luxurious chest, which is kind of why I wanted to stop by and grab this chest real fast. Grab this one as well. And we get to fly back throughout Mondstadt again. Though I am very curious as to how they set up these little markers right here. Because they don't seem like something you can just automatically set up. Oh, I guess we just got in trouble. so we get to go and chase down a criminal. This will be a fun turn of events from trying to get a gliding license to all of a sudden taking part in a criminal chase. And I guess for some of you who might not know, I really love birds in general, and especially when it comes to birds of prey. And something they call birds of prey is actually raptors, which is the name why they called him a raptor, because raptors are fast, and so is this person. It's very subtle, but once again, since I love birds so much, I love being able to just spout little facts like that off. So, now we're reaching our next destination, which obviously you have to come here to capture rapture, but it is kind of a nice place. It's called Springvale. It's a very small community of almost like hunters who kind of live out here and do a lot of the hunting in Mondstadt. Obviously, first, we're going to hit the teleport waypoint, get that out of the way, and then move on. And so, looking back, Elemental Sight, as you can see, this is like lit up in red. That means it's activated by Pyro. And with these little markings, they kind of help us see where to go. These little like almost like squiggly lines that are kind of showing us exactly where we need to be going to. Well, that was weird. They said the same thing twice, except the text dialogue was different. All right, so we can move on, kind of going after Raptor. Now, this one, might I add, I actually do not remember who Raptor is, so I guess we'll find out together. And I think now that they are starting to, it does look like the enemies are starting to get up there in level. After this, I might kind of show how to level up characters, because we might start needing to level ours up a bit more. For now, we'll burn their shields, get their shield off, and then move on. Oh my! And so, I guess these are since they're new enemies. I'll kind of say they're called treasure hoarders. They might obviously explain it within the story, but yeah, they're not good guys. Essentially, they're thieves, robbers, things of that nature. And here's the wonderful ability to accidentally climb on trees comes into play. And so, as you can see, we're about to go into another domain type level. Kind of chase Raptor down into the deep darks of the ruins. And yeah, this will take a tad bit to load, but oh goodness, it's taking a very long time to load. Oh well, hold on, because I think Genshin Impact might have crashed on us. So I'm going to try to fix that real fast. Um, yeah, give me a bit, and I'll kind of figure out what's going on here. I don't know precisely why it's. I don't know why it happened like that. I'll try to get it back up real fast and see what went wrong. Um, I think it might be back on. I'm in the loading screen right now. We'll kind of hopefully it works, and if not, we'll kind of go from there, figure out what's going on. But yeah, now that we're back in game, we'll try to go right back into Raptor's hideout, and hopefully it doesn't crash this time. Seems to be a lot. Yeah, it loaded a lot faster this time, so something must have happened. But we're all good now. Well, I guess we're going to go a tad bit off the rails and do our own test. Oh, and it turns out we can apparently drop bombs on them. It's an interesting ability that I don't think ever comes back, but it's fun for now. We'll kind of bob and weave and get all these enemies out of the way. And obviously, this is going to make a very big boom with all these barrels right here, but we'll try to stay afloat as long as possible. Kind of fly on through. I'm not too sure we're supposed to still be... Oh, I guess we are. Keep flying on through. It's like being in an attack helicopter coming in. Another explosion. And one more big explosion. Oh, well, it's going to go right into the next scene. Now we have our full party again. Can continue on. And sorry for the noise in the background. I think people are being a bit too loud. Since being a college student and all that, trying to stream in a dorm is not the easiest when you can't control how everyone acts around you, but hopefully they're not too distracting, and if they are, I can work something out. I guess we can kind of, as we're going on through, just kind of wondering how everyone's day is going so far. I know my day has been. I think I woke up. Oh gosh, I think around maybe 11 o'clock. I slept in really late today because I stayed up really late last night. But just kind of wondering how everyone else is doing. Maybe you had the same situation or not, but it's definitely interesting to hear how some people are always willing to stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning every day and then wake up at 11 or go to bed at 9, wake up at 5 o'clock or something. Like, just seeing the different things that people do is always very interesting. So for this one, I believe we're supposed to be putting them out, so I think we can use Amber here to kind of basically do the overload ability and fry them, which should lower the water and give us access to the mechanism. And then for this one, we'll just shoot all these barrels. I guess you should also say the enemies also do take fall damage. You can kind of see there they were taking damage from it. Maybe, I don't know if it's as much as we take damage, but they do take a little bit. Oh, I guess we weren't able to knock him down. Hold on. they don't fall down for anything. Trying to avoid the slimes as we go. Not the easiest thing to do. Let them be distracted by Baron Bunny while we kind of walk around a bit. Even though that didn't do anything apparently. I guess I haven't really been able to cover this yet, but if I were to attack this Electro slime with Electro, it will actually take no damage due to it being Electro. Just a kind of little nice tidbit to know that you can't really damage them like that. It's kind of why I want you to use Amber here to kind of, use Pyro on all of them. Since this room is so big, it'll probably take a bit to go through and explore, kind of gathering up all the resources we can. I'm not sure if there's something around here. I don't think so. I don't think we're going to push forward in that area unless it tells us we have to. Right, and we'll activate the mechanism and continue on. I guess while we're doing this, I can stay at this, and hopefully it doesn't come back to bite me in the butt. But knock on wood, we've been in for like an hour and a half now, and we haven't had any problems with Twitch. So I think that's a good sign. Obviously, knock on wood, a lot of knocking on wood, but hopefully nothing goes wrong. Obviously, if something goes wrong, I will try my best to fix it, and I'll update you all if obviously it does crash on us. But yeah, so far it seems to be working fine. I mean, he was kind of being a bit mean. I mean, goodness, there's like no need for that kind of rudeness. I guess we're about to just jump off this cliff and see what happens. And it also, the text and speech did not match up again. I don't think the wind is saying anything actually. Even though that was me gliding, but yeah, it's always interesting to be able to just jump off a cliff and somehow survive. But if it works, I guess it works. Yeah, that wasn't too difficult. I think that sounds like a fantastic idea, considering we just got our gliding exam taken from someone who literally has gotten their license revoked multiple times. Yeah, let's just don't think it's a good idea to continue on with that path. And another nice little chest reward at the end of this mission. I guess to kind of go along, we're gonna try to get this little reward right here, or this little, I guess, animunculi. It's really hard to say. That's why I've been trying to avoid saying it. But we'll try to collect. We'll try to collect them that are somewhat easier to collect. I'm not going to collect all of them right now since they are a tad bit difficult to get sometimes. Kind of like this one, since I think we could probably use this tree to climb up, and I think that's what it wants you to do. But if it doesn't work the first couple of times, I might just give up and go back and for those who don't know, that was a boar. The boars attack you for no reason other than to just be mean. Yeah, I think I might give up on this one, but I will, however, go over and activate the statue just to kind of open up more to the world in our eyes. We can see more, and since it's right here, it'll just make it easier to get to. Well, I guess I already found it, but it's this little thing right here called the Eye of the Storm. It's a new monster we haven't faced, but
They're not too common. I normally only see like a few of them once every so often. But we should be able to defeat this and then unlock the statue. And obviously, the only thing I can really do is shoot it from the sky. So, but when it activates moves like that, you're able to kind of like knock it out of its form, kind of stun it a bit, which gives you a bit more time to hit it on the ground. Now that we defeated it, we have the new statue. Which means more of the map is unlocked. And for Mondstadt, this is kind of it for now. Obviously, we can, once we get to the Archon quest and actually get a bit more into it, this will be unlocked. But yeah, this is essentially all you're going to get out of Mondstadt. There's technically a region down here that can be considered a part of Mondstadt, but it's actually like an icy mountain area called Dragonspine, which once again we'll get to a tad bit later. But yeah, we'll go back to Mondstadt and get our gliding license, and then, well, I forgot we have to go through our little thing right here to let it open up. Right, and then we'll teleport back to Mondstadt and go into the cathedral. Another little very small new thing. There's these things called like waypoints, or yeah, viewpoints, sorry. And essentially when you click on them, it'll get you a nice little picture that adds to your archive, which I guess I can kind of explain a tad bit what the archive is before seeing Amber. We saw a bit of it earlier when I opened up that book, but essentially it contains everything you've unlocked so far. So like if we go into the living being section, it shows that we've battled these slimes. It showed that we battled this little thing called the Eye of the Storm that was protecting the statue. Here's the Hurl Turtles we've all battled. And obviously a lot of these come in later. Here's the treasure hoarders right here. But yeah, we'll get into these a lot more later on once we are actually able to get to it. And obviously there's books, materials, which materials is stuff you can find around the world, or cooking abilities, character ascension materials, and then just kind of random things that pop up throughout the game. Once again, it's not too important in the storyline. They don't really give you a ton of like resources and stuff. But for like a collector like me, I love being able to unlock everything possible. So it gives something to incentivize that behavior. well, I mean, Paimon does have a point there. I don't think she can really talk on that situation. But yeah, honestly, the gliding license manual doesn't actually do much. It's just a nice little mission you can complete. It gets us more adventure experience, so now we can upgrade that a tad bit more. And then we'll do this one just to kind of show the like little shop where we get all these animal sigils, which I'll show you what animal sigils are in a few seconds. I can open up my bag and kind of show you right now. Actually, I think I do have them. I'm just not too sure where they're at. Oh yeah, right here. So these are the things called, they're essentially called animal sigils. You can go and trade them into this one person we're about to talk to, kind of get special items, which they're not like crazy special items, but it's still stuff you can get for free, essentially just by exploring. I mean, and once again, I'm just flying around Mondstadt, and no one's really stopped me yet, so I don't think they care too much about that, especially when it comes to me. They just have to say it on paper. It's kind of like I said, there's some nice stuff. Obviously, these two are kind of decently important since this is the Traveler Ascension material, like I was talking, not Ascension, the Constellations, right here, and then this one can, once again, I can kind of explain that later on once we actually get to it. But essentially, it allows you to make 4-star weapons in the shop, or I think they're 4-star weapons anyways. But the rest of these are kind of stuff you can find around on their own. It's just kind of a nice little boost to your material collection. Yeah, a nice little quest just to kind of introduce you to that shop, kind of show you what exactly you can sell and buy there. Other than that, we'll try to move on to another quest. Obviously, since these are level 10 and 15, we can't do those yet. But hopefully, with Kaya's mission, we should be able to get over that level 10 and be able to continue on with the story. If not, we'll have to go out and actually here we'll accept this quest real fast on our way to Kaya just to kind of have it in our inventory so we don't have to worry about it anymore. I believe this one should be at the Adventure Hall. Yep, it is. Okay.
and I can read this to kind of get it out in the air.
But it's all too sudden.
I came up with so many contingency plans. Are we not going to get into the chance to any of them? My contingencies include ways to scatter their people in the wild to avoid the storms, teach them how to survive. We're going to teach them to set up basic camps, do pest control, avoid beasts and monsters. Never mind. Rather than take our chances out there, better to remain safe within these walls. Ah, yes, some of our investigating adventurers have informed me that there are monsters congregating in the Whispering Woods. Almost everyone is out investigating it, and I must remain here to command them. Traveler, can I count on you to clear out those monsters? I'll leave it to you then. Don't worry. You will be compensated fairly. And stuff like this, it does happen a lot where they don't have voice lines for the character just because obviously it makes it easier if you don't have to have a voice actor for something. I'll probably read them from now on, or at least if I remember to, I'll read them just to make it easier on those of us who might not be fully watching but still want to listen in anyways. But for now, we're going to go into the Knights of Avonia's headquarters and talk to Kaya on the next mission. Oh. Yeah, it's kind of creepy. He's definitely he's definitely trying to be nice to us. Obviously, you can tell he wants us to do something for him. And with Kaya, I'm sure it's nothing good. So, I guess we'll let him drag us around on this ride and see what happens. I mean, with the eye patch, kind of makes sense. Yeah, that's very original, but okay, I guess you're a pirate. I don't think Paimon has been listening this whole time. Yeah, that seems a bit far fetched, but I mean, I guess we'll just accept it. It is very interesting, though, how Kai had dumped it on us and then said, "Hey, tell me how it goes," and then it's now running away. It's like that's a bit interesting. But I guess we're just gonna take it because I mean treasure. I mean that was kind of mean, but okay. Paimon is something else. No, don't you love how she said don't reveal the location and then asks where the location is? I think we're doing a bit of contradicting there, but it's okay.
It's okay. We got this. We got this. Yeah, good going. Good going, Paimon.
That you just reveal the location of to just about everyone in existence. But it's fine. It's fine. We'll get there. We'll get there before him. Wait for our stamina to go back up before we can actually climb. I mean, I would hope I get compensated for this. They're essentially telling me to go and do something really illegal, and hopefully they don't arrest me for it. I mean, goodness. I'm not sure what that achievement was for, but I mean, we got an achievement. In this game, you'll find that there's a lot of achievements you can just get by randomly doing things. So for that one, it might have been like blow up a few gold like barrels or something of that nature. And then there's this cute little pyro slime right here. I guess it was actually part of a mission, so we might have to go back and do that. But for now, we'll go and meet the informant. Well, I would ask who that is, but it does say that they're the informant, so gonna guess they're the informant. Oh, well, that's kind of nice.
Well, that didn't help at all. Well, I guess we're gonna have to go to that the location in the painting, which I mean it'll be a bit difficult to find, but I think we'll be fine to find it. Um, well, I guess we'll have to go and figure that out. If you I will have to go for a few seconds. I'm gonna take a quick break real fast, and I will be right back. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a few seconds. All right, and we are back. Yeah, sorry about that. I ran out of water and I wanted to get some stuff done real fast. So, yeah, now that we're back, we can kind of. This is kind of the menu where it kind of will show you some of the stuff you've gathered. Obviously, right here it'll have the treasure clue, which it's basically just a picture, which we'll have to go and find the specific location. But first, we're probably going to have to talk to Kaya. Kaya might tell us around the location, even though I can kind of tell you it's on one of these windmills. You can kind of see it in the picture. I think it's, if anything, I think it's that windmill right in front of us, which I guess we can go and grab it if it'll like will let us. I guess I'm not too sure. So I believe if you look, it's kind of the same picture right here. So, yep, it lets us grab it. If that's just, I mean, like it's just kind of mean, but I mean, well, once again, not to be mean, I don't know if Paimon was helping much in the first place, but this time, since we don't need to see Kaya, we can just kind of go. I'm gonna take a guess since it says it's talking about the heart of the spring. The spring starts all the way up here and is kind of putting an X in that area. So I'm gonna take a guess it's somewhere right here. And while we're at it, we can activate some more waypoints. And on our way, we'll grab this little animalculi right here. If we don't run out of stamina first. So we'll grab that and then go right back on the path we were heading towards. So here's our little teleportation point right here. And I believe if we check the next treasure clue, yep, it's kind of pointing right towards the top of the spring up here. So we'll go up there and see if we can find it. I'm sorry if it feels like I'm taking forever with climbing, because the more you press spacebar to jump up really fast and go up faster, it actually will cost more stamina. So I'm trying to preserve it to hopefully get up here, but we might just be cutting it close. If we And with that little like last trick there, if you have a very small amount of stamina, you can still jump up and do the full like jump without using all the stamina required. It's a nice little thing in case you were just barely about to hit the end of it. You can just jump up and be done with it. Not too sure if this is the area it's talking about, or if it might be talking about somewhere else and maybe up a tad bit higher.
I think it might be talking about up there, so I'm not too sure. It seems like it since there's not any other points here. But we'll do this little like not puzzle, but this little like nice reward area right here. Oh, well, I guess actually that was the quest. I'm pretty sure it was drawn by a pirate. So considering I think the treasure hoarders already know that we're gonna finding a treasure. Pretty sure she wants to steal it to sell it, but oh yeah, but it wasn't to actually like defend me or defend herself. It was yeah, I just want to use it to play around. It's good to know. Um, I think even without not being able to unlock the rest of them, I think we can also unlock this one, which while we're up here, I am going to do again because it is really hard to get up to these back areas because they're just so far out of the way. So I might do that if I can find the entrance, which I think is right here. Yep. And so even if we can't like actually do the mission, oh, maybe not. I guess it'll just have to remain locked for now. But even without that, we can try to go over here to this little area and try to activate the or get the treasure. And I guess I can kind of show you another thing right here after I defeat this enemy. But I guess there's two things. These little like fire flowers, which you can't actually collect unless you use some sort of ability to put them out, which Electro doesn't work, but it's normally like cryo and hydro, essentially the water abilities. You can put it out and then collect these flaming flowers, which once again, just materials we can collect. But the thing I wanted to look at is this little thing right here. Is essentially these are rock piles, and once you destroy these rock piles, which you can kind of see by this little durability bar, once you do enough to destroy them, they'll open up to reveal treasure chests. Which it can be treasure chests, but sometimes it'll be different things, which we'll see later on. I feel like once we come to find more of these rock piles. Oh, and I guess the exact opposite of the flaming flowers we just found are also these flowers right here called the cryo flowers. Or mist flowers, I guess. But essentially they are the exact opposite. You need to either freeze them or not freeze them, essentially put them out with pyro, or they can freeze you like that. But once you put them out, you can actually collect them and gather them back up. It's just a small little aside to those little flowers right there, so you kind of get the bearings of what they are. Sounds like somebody's in there. Yeah. Mice? Mice. We're gonna go with mice, huh? Okay. You know what? Sure. It's a bunch of mice. I mean, It's like almost the exact time to get suspicious, but okay. Um, Depending on the level of this, which yeah, since it's level 10, I will show you how to use these level up materials now. Since I was talking about doing them earlier, but just kind of never got around to it. But as you can see, there's this little like level up thing in the character selection menu. You can use these things right here to level them up, and obviously we'll level this up. Probably we'll go to level like 15 just to have a bit more power to us. And obviously there's three of them. Each individual one is better than the rest. So this one's gives more less than this one, which gives less than this one. We'll try to level them up to 15 and just kind of have them sitting there. I don't since we don't have too much. I'm not going to try to waste all of them right now. I'll just level them up enough to where I don't have to worry about fighting things and being too underleveled. And then later on, they it gets really difficult with like leveling up character materials because once you get to level 20, it becomes locked until you have to uncap it, which uncapping costs materials. Which yeah, these are here. So like to level up from character 20 to onward, you have to get these materials. To level up from level 40 and beyond, you have to unlock these, and so on and so forth. And it gets more and more material heavy as you go on. Obviously, for now, we don't have to worry too much about it since we're really low level and there's not really much it can ask us to collect. But yeah, level our characters up to level 15 just to kind of be somewhat on the same level as the other enemies. And yeah, we'll continue on with the mission. Go into the Lost Arcadian Ruins. That was like an almost instant knockout. Oh, and I guess it's the first example of what you can do. You can hit enemies off the edge, and they will instantly be defeated if you are able to knock them off. And then obviously these are back, which oh, if it doesn't auto lock onto the enemy slimes, but I think we can shut this off. Yep. Oh, unless it activates again, but we can turn that back off. I guess as we're kind of going through and not really doing anything too like thought provoking, kind of talk a bit about what I'm planning on doing in the upcoming days. I might, I want to start making more social media pages for you all to explore, kind of check around and see some of like the smaller clips so you don't have to watch through the whole stream again. I'm also planning on looking at different games, which I might start streaming like sometime throughout the week just because I know that playing the same game can get a tad bit repetitive, and I know Genshin's been out for a while, so some people might not want to watch all the way from the beginning. Not only that, I don't want to speed through this game too fast because if I speed through it, then I mean, there's not much we can do past that besides wait for the next update. Give me a second. We'll kind of look at this cutscene. Oh. Mhm.
Oh, so we got lied to. We were bait, essentially. That's cool. Uh-oh. Well, as you can see, this is a new enemy that got randomly sprung on us. But with these, they have like little critical points that you can hit, which are really kind of important. So there's this back one right here, and then there's this eye right here. If you shoot it in the eye, it'll kind of stumble backwards, and then if you shoot it twice, it'll turn around and it'll basically like essentially fall over and be stunned for a bit. In which that time you can attack it a lot more without any consequences. Wasn't too difficult. Now that we leveled our characters up, it's a tad bit easier to get through to the enemies. Oh wow. Once again, we were lied to. Oops. Well, I'm glad Kaya has already learned how to deal with Paimon. Just compliment her as much as possible, and you'll most likely get your way. Yeah. Hmm. Saying that with a straight face is kind of scary, but okay. Right, and so we got another chest, and that is mission complete. And unless I'm mistaken, yeah, we are just below level 10. So I might have us go around a bit, just kind of exploring, unless obviously unlocked a new mission, which I do not believe we did. Oh, no, we did. I forgot about the not to be missed. So we'll go out and do this mission, maybe see where we're at after that. And if we're still not there, then I'll go around, start unlocking some of these. And yeah, we'll see where that takes us and see how long that'll be. Because if it takes too long, I might just say we're gonna have to stop there for now. But yeah, we'll try it out. See what happens. And I guess going back to earlier before that cutscene, I'll kind of touch on it a bit more. But essentially, just talking about some of the plans I was going to have for this channel, some of the stuff I wanted to make, create, and experience with you all. I guess while we're kind of doing this, though, just kind of wondering once again, how's everyone day going? I know it's a nice day outside. I guess where I am, anyways, it's a nice sunny day. But I guess I also have to wonder where what's it's like for everyone else. But I know that this like last couple of weeks have been really really stressful because I've had a lot of homework being a college student. So you know, trying to do all that and at the same time do this and have a great time with everyone else, but also making sure to take time for myself is not the easiest thing in the world to do. So I hope if anyone else is like me, they can come by and experience this and be almost as calm as I am, just kind of letting Genshin Impact, this wonderful story, kind of go through you and just experience the fun and joy that can just be had from good diving into another world. Having said that, this other world is massive and I have to walk forever to get to the next location. While at the same time collecting berries, trees, everything else. And I'm not sure, but this might be another one of those, like, these might be a hidden mechanic. So, well, the other ones are pretty self explanatory. You activate the monuments, you get the treasure, you pop the animal lines, you get the treasure. But this might be a hidden one. I'm not sure. We can, because of how these are laid out, this might let us get treasure. Yep. So there are things like that all throughout the world as well. Just kind of little secret hidden chests. They don't really say they have treasure in them, but will end up having treasure in them. Okay, we'll defeat this last camp, and I think we can go back to Cyrus and see what he has to say about it. Oh, hello. And these are, I guess you kind of saw it a bit in Kaya's cutscene, but these are brand new characters, or at least to this stream so far. These are essentially called Abyss Mages. Abyss Mages will be talked about a lot in this game because they are kind of, sort of like, not the main enemy, but one of the enemies in the game you'll come across. But for now, just know that these are Abyss Mages. They do have individual elements to them. This one obviously being Pyro, but there is Cryo, Electro, Hydro. Might might be more than that. I'm not too sure though. But if you see, these have they're special because they have shields around them that have individual elemental energy. So with the Pyro, they have Pyro shields, which means that Pyro reactions will help like take it down a lot faster. Like that. But obviously, doing pyro damage against it doesn't do anything. They can be taken down with like basic attacks, but not as fast as like elemental abilities. So it's always smart to do that. And then once they're knocked out of their form, they're completely stunned and they won't move until I guess we can show it. But after a while, they'll come back and they'll try to activate their shield again using that little animation right there. And if you do enough damage during that little animation time, you can knock them back out of it so they can't use their shield again. Essentially, it is always smart to try to get the Abyss Mages defeated first before they can activate their shield again. But it's not a big deal if they do get their shield back. It just takes a bit longer. But speaking of taking a bit longer, we'll go on a little side here and go over to this teleport point and activate it before heading back to Mondstadt. Since I will teleport back, we're not going to walk all the way there. Just way too long of a walk. I keep forgetting to talk for them, but yeah, essentially just thanking us for defeating all those monsters out there and continuing on. Just, I understand. Thanks for your help in investigating. I'll reconsider the commissions that we'll be sending out. Take these as your reward. So, essentially, now that they know that there are monsters out there and that they're still kind of attacking Mondstadt, that they can put a stop to it and have other adventurers take part in the subjugation of the monsters. But now that we have gotten a high enough level, we can go into the next Archon mission, which give me a bit because there's a lot of stuff to do right here. So I'll kind of poke through here. This I won't go too much into this because this is a character that comes out later on. Because obviously, since the game has been out for a while, there's a lot of events that center around some of the later events in the Archon story. So for now, we're gonna run past this. Once again, character that comes from later parts of the game. We'll leave that for now. Also, once again, later on. And these are also kind of we'll get to these later on. They're just kind of just kind of events that will appear throughout once we get to later on in the event or game. But for now, I'm trying to figure out where we're at. We'll get to this next teleport point and see where the next part of the mission leads us to. Sorry, I'm gonna go through all these just so we don't have to worry about because I know, at least for me, it's a bit bothersome to see up in the upper corner, see a lot of just random red explanation points. So I think after the end of this, we'll go back. I'll collect some of the mission rewards. I'll collect some of the other things. We'll just go through them in a bit. Oh, and I guess we get to go back and meet Jean. Yikes! That was tough. Yeah, so I guess kind of talking a bit on the Fatui without going too much detail. They essentially are a massive organization that follow a different one of the gods because there are 7 gods, each one representing a different element. Obviously, we are in the Animo gods territory right now, but there are other territories we'll get to later on. But for now, just know that the Fatui is not nice people that hail from Shiznaya, which is essentially the god of Cryo's reign. So just keep that in your brain for now.
by out in the moment, out in the open, we mean not in front of their headquarters where they can hear. Yeah, just a tad bit rude. Just a tad bit, as in like, hey, we're gonna take your like one of your greatest defenders and just like put an end to him. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's like, eh, not too sure that's what you should start with. And for those who don't remember, that is something we collected right near the start of the game. Yeah, let's not comment on that one. Let's not out ourselves. Yeah, for now, let's just plead the fifth. Yeah, kind of like I mentioned earlier, it's the fact that we can use elemental powers without a vision is not even heard of in this world. Not like let alone Mondstadt, just in general. So we kind of have to keep that under wraps for now because if we let people know, obviously we're gonna be outed as someone who's very different and someone who should. Yeah, it's just not a good thing. They might want to do experiments or other things that would not be the most pleasant things to have happen to us. So for now, we just got to keep that under wraps and just not let people know why we can use elemental powers. Um, Paimon? I think that's exactly that person. That definitely took way too long to figure that out. It is definitely a weird assumption that we just assume he has elemental abilities because it hasn't been stated yet, but not everyone in the world has elemental abilities. So it's very interesting that we just assume that he does have them. But I guess we were right this time and they do have powers, but whatever. And like last time, using elemental sight just to kind of show us the tracks since they do have animal on them. I mean, not the first person to do it. I definitely know I look like a weirdo climbing up every wall in Mondstadt. I guess before we start that, if you could have saw that just a tad bit earlier, there was a little like thing right beside Lisa that said like character level up. You can get character levels just by playing the game, just by defeating enemies, by doing missions. Obviously, Lisa was able to level up because she got enough XP, but it's not a reliable source of leveling up, especially once you get to levels like 70 and 80. So it's a way of getting XP, but not the most reliable. So I'm probably not going to rely on it for the most part, and just rely on the character XP givers.
And more cutscenes. We love cutscenes.
What was like? I mean, I guess first of all, oh my gosh, that was just like I always love the cutscenes. And like the reason why I always say I love them is because they do such a good job of just bringing you in and just having that, even with like little like not even animated, but just very small like drawn on cutscenes like that. They just have a lot of intense emotions in them. So it's just like, whew, really gets you feeling something there. But yeah, just yeah. I can't ever get enough of them. They're always really cool and really pretty to listen and watch. Oops. Not sure why I can purify it, but hey, we'll just purify them anyways. It's okay. Oops. What's that supposed to mean? Let's say what? Not gonna explain anything? But hold on. Okay, you didn't need to state it like that. And I think we'll save that mission for next time we come back on. I'll go through some of these just to kind of, I guess, I can do this in my own time, kind of get rid of some of these little markers or whatever. Because I know it can be annoying to some people. I know it's annoying to me just seeing all these stuff, but we can claim some of these, get them out of the way. And then the screen right here, basically, it'll allow you to get rewards for completing certain Archon missions. And then I kind of explained last time, but these are the wishes. This is essentially where you can get new characters for using these things called acquaintance fates. And then there's a different kind right here called intertwined fates. These acquaintance fates can only be used for like the standard wish, which has like a base set of characters that it kind of gets added to sometimes, but it's not very often they get characters added to. I think the last one was just a bit ago where they decided to release this new character Tignari, which is one of the characters that was released just within the new area of the game. But yeah, these intertwined fates is what a lot of people use to summon some of the newer characters like this one, which once again we'll get back to when we get to that part of the game, which is way later on. But for these beginners wishes, I'll wait until I collect enough to actually summon all at once, and then I'll summon on all of them, and then we can see what we get from there. Other than that, we can go into this menu, and I can kind of explain some of this a bit more. But these achievements right here, you can get like little Primo Gem rewards, which, as you can see, since I haven't claimed any of them, there's a ton of them. So I'll claim all these for us just to kind of get more rewards. Sometimes when you complete sets like this hero's journey, you can get like these little backgrounds or name cards. But obviously, since we're not close, we're not going to get a name card yet, I don't think. Yeah, there's like events, community, version highlights. There's a lot of stuff that I don't think I need to show because it's a lot of behind the scenes things. But then here's all these right here. We can unstar these and then essentially claim all these. giving us more rewards, getting us a lot more summons, so we can come back and summon more characters later. But yeah, I think for now that's going to be it for the game side of things. So I'll do this and just kind of for now. I kind of wanted to state some things before I end stream for the session.
But next week I will not be on streaming. I actually am going to go on vacation with family. I yeah, obviously I can't be on when I'm on vacation. But after that, which the week of the 20th, I actually am on spring break from college, so I will most likely be on, and I'm gonna probably stream a lot more. I'll put it on my schedule, but what I'm planning for is the Tuesday and Thursday of that week. I will probably stream, and then Saturday the 25th, I will also be streaming. I'm not too sure of the time yet. It'll probably be later in the evening for at least on my end. So maybe look at like seven to 10, or maybe 8 to 11. I'm not sure yet. But past that, I'm not going to be streaming Genshin Impact then, because I don't want to go through the story too far. But on Tuesday and Thursday, I might start streaming Overwatch, which is another game I was looking to play on this channel to kind of see how everyone reacts to it. If you guys don't like it, please let me know, and in the chat, I can obviously make changes to that and go as need be. Um, on another note, I will start making more to benefit the channel. I'm looking into making more social media pages. Obviously, my goal is 100 followers, and I'll set up a Discord for you guys all to talk and have fun, communicate, chat. I didn't want to set it up too early because obviously I don't want just like two people in the Discord taking over the whole thing. But once we get to 100 people, I'll start revving that up and getting that a lot more fleshed out. Um, yeah. Other than that, thank you all for spending time with me today. It really means a lot. Obviously I'm new to this, and if I'm, trying to learn, taking things from here and there, trying to figure out what I should be doing, what I shouldn't be doing. So yeah, if anyone ever has anything that they want to say, please drop it on in the chat. Obviously, once I make an Instagram, you all can DM me and we can kind of talk there. But yeah, if you guys have any suggestions on stuff, I would love to hear them. I'm obviously wanting to grow the channel alongside you all, not as a separate person, but as a group. But yeah, this has been another meeting for the game